Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome into Around the Diamond here on the Rec Room Sports Hub YouTube show. I hope you guys are having a great evening. I am AP Alan Perales, joined, of course, by the coach, Jonathan Krishman, and the Hall of Famer, Scott Cope. Gentlemen, how we doing tonight?
Yeah, well.
The All-Star game is stupid.
Oh, we'll definitely get into that. There's a lot to talk about.
Alan, I'm glad we're having 1 hour of Colorado Rockies talk. This will be really interesting tonight. So people gear up.
Oh, jeez.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
If I can real quick. I'm so sick and tired of the NL for how they continue to show up and not show up in the All-Star game. 17 years. We've won one time in 17 years, and we had the best roster. Even if we didn't have Shohei, even if we didn't have Ronald Acuna, we still had the best roster. And you get two hits? Three hits.
Three hits and 15 strikeouts.
Abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. You had the best team. Between the AL and NL All-Stars, you had the best team. You had the most talent. And you get 3 hits. And we had the better pitching, too. We had the better pitching.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid. I'm out on the All-Star game. I love the All-Star game. It is the best All-Star game in all of sports. But I'm sick of it. I am absolutely sick. Until the NL can actually show they could be competitive in the damn All-Star game, I'm out.
It's almost like the NL just doesn't want to play the game. They win the home run derby, and it's like, all right, we came for what we wanted. Screw the game. We're done. See you later. I agree with you, John, that I don't understand what the NL's mindset is going into these games, but it's not good. It's not good. Last night, it should have been 4-0 NL, not AL. So yeah. I turned off the game halfway through. I was just so tired of watching the game. I was like, done. Then I went to work.
The minute I saw it was 3-0 American League, I was like, oh, this is not good.
No, Sanchez gives up 3 runs in the first inning, and then the only other run was a home run by a White Sox that I forgot his name, Miguel something. And that was
Miguel Vargas.
Vargas. Yes. And the rest of the game was
that's the only. I'll say that's the only bright spot for me in the entire game is that it was a Philly pitcher that gave up the 3 runs. That is my only bright spot I took up the whole game. All right, Philadelphia is the worst fan base. They're the worst. It's just absolutely they don't. Those people don't deserve nice things. They don't. So Schwarber losing the final. I'm great, awesome. He lost the final. I have a lot of respect for Kyle Schwarber. And when I would in any other situation I would root for him, but because he plays for the Phillies and that fan base, I'm out. I'm glad he lost, and I'm glad Christopher Sanchez gave up the 3 runs and he got the loss in the All-Star game because Philly fans don't deserve anything good.
The last thing I'll say about the All-Star game is Dave Roberts looked around and went, no Skeens, no Mizorowski. Christopher Sanchez, you're going to start the All-Star game. Your teammate doesn't want to come? All right, you got the All-Star start. Here you go. I think that's how he just did it. He just picked it out of a hat or just looked around and said, okay, it's in Philadelphia. You can start the All-Star game. That's, I think, because the best player in the NL last night was Justin Robleski. 2 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts. Best player in the NL was Robleski. That tells you a lot. That tells you a lot. So, all right, yeah, Alan, go back to your format.
All right. Well, I guess we got the All-Star game out of the way.
We're done.
Well, while we're at it, Jordan Walker, of course, winning the All-Star game, first St. Louis Cardinal to do so. And as Jonathan mentioned, coming back to beat Kyle Schwarber in the final, getting 4 in a row on the final ball, too, which was crazy. Crazy moment for him. Congratulations. And now there's talks he might get traded because the Cardinals are terrible again. I think that's something. But, I mean, the All-Star game, the home run derby was probably the best part of it. Like you guys said, the All-Star game was just kind of flat.
The home run derby is always awesome. It is absolutely always awesome. It is what the slam dunk contest used to be in the NBA.
Yep.
And the new format. You know what? I kind of did like the new format. It's a little bit of a mixture of the old school with the new school. The old school with the 10 outs, where you only get 20 swings in the first round, 15 in the second, and the final. So you have a little bit of the pressure of your swings that you're supposed to get, and but at the same time, these guys were not being rushed like the old way. So I liked it. I actually liked it, and again, it created a lot of intrigue and drama with it. So you know what? As skeptical as I was at first, I give it an A. I give the new format of what they did an A for how it was handled and how it was done. My only complaint is the Netflix broadcasters were absolutely awful.
Awful.
All right, and nothing against Bonds, nothing against. I will listen to Barry Bonds and Albert Pujols all day, but you need a broadcaster. You need a commentator, an analyst that creates excitement for the home run derby. And I understand Chris Berman is the greatest of it all. There will never be another Chris Berman to do the home run derby. But even Carl Ravitch wasn't bad when he was doing it. You need somebody that is going to grab the audience on TV and really make them sit on the edge of their seats. Mm-hmm. And you did not have that at all with any of the analysts, with any of the announcers, the broadcasters that were outside of Bonds and Pujols. You needed somebody that was going to create that, give the excitement feeling, and they didn't have that. That's the only complaint I have for the home run derby.
And they missed home runs, and they cared too much to the crowd, and it just Netflix did not do themselves proud with the home run derby the other night. No. It was not good at all. So.
No. Broadcast-wise, yeah, it was not good. Execution-wise, it was great, but broadcast-wise, it was not great.
I think Chris Berman should be, if Netflix is going to do it, they need to pay Chris Berman an exorbitant amount of money to get him to come to Philadelphia or wherever it is to do it. So you just need to do it. It misses it. It misses it.
Okay.
No.
Definitely. No,
I'd be real quick. I'm sorry, Al, but
no, you're fine. You're fine.
Well, listen, because Berman's what? Is Berman in his 80s yet?
I don't think so.
Somewhere in there, yeah, pretty close. If he's,
then he's at least in his mid 70s or so. We need a next generation. Ravitch was doing it for a while. Who would be another broadcaster that you think would create that excitement and build up the drama of a home run derby to the somewhat comparable of Berman? Do we have one?
The guy that used to do baseball that doesn't do it anymore? Maybe a Joe Buck. Maybe
okay.
Joe Buck would be phenomenal.
If they do it on the ESPN app next year, then yeah, maybe do Joe Buck.
Yeah, I think he's perfect for it.
Do we think? Again, I'm always big on Boog Shambi. Could Boog bring that?
Yeah. Didn't he do it on ESPN a couple of years after Berman left?
I don't think he did.
I don't
remember.
Yeah, I think Shambi or Buck would be the two guys. Vasgersian? Maybe, but I'm not sure. But I think Buck and Boog would be the two guys that you would look at first before you went elsewhere.
I mean, other broadcasters that are more local for their teams. I mean, I would go with, Chip Carey was pretty good with home run calls when he was with the Braves and when the Cardinals. As far as the national guys, I don't know how many national announcers that you can think of that you could put out there as a home run derby, broadcaster, and just create that excitement. I don't know how many there are out there that could do that.
I think the one guy that people will say I'm kind of a homer, I think somebody like a Don Orsillo would be phenomenal. He broadcasts the Padres games now. He's an in the moment announcer. He was with the Red Sox on Nesson. He is with the Padres in a sort of way. So I think a guy that's an in the moment announcer probably would be the type of guy you would want to do the All-Star, the home run derby. And that would be Buck and Boog and Orsillo, and we're probably missing some guys that we are right here that we know. That who?
Boog would be. I love Boog Shambi. I absolutely love Boog. Listening to him on the broadcast, and and you can again. you can feel his passion for the game of baseball. That's what we got with Chris Berman for so long. That's what we got with Joe Miller for so many years.
That's what made Josh Hamilton's first round so memorable was Chris Berman's comment.
Yes, I agree.
Berman has been the
Absolutely
soundtrack of so many things on ESPN, Super Bowl postgame, NFL primetime, home run derby. He's been the voice behind so many big key moments in sports in the last 15 to 20 years that he's a really good announcer. He does a great job used to do a great job on baseball. When they asked him to do a football game, he did a great job on football. I mean, home run derby was his domain, so to speak. So I just like Chris Berman a lot.
I was going to say, if you're doing it on Fox again, just go get Gus Johnson. I don't care if he does college football. Go get Gus Johnson.
Another guy. That's another guy that would be phenomenal, I think, for it. Is Gus Johnson. He's an in-the-moment announcer, too.
I would be.
He's another. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm down for that.
So, yeah.
Speaking of TV stuff, we'll probably get more into this next week, obviously, because we will probably be short on time today. But Rangers did change streaming service today. They will no longer be on Victory Plus. I forgot which service they're joining, but they have officially made the jump. Good news is those that paid for the season long for Victory Plus won't get charged for it when they moved over. So they'll at least get to keep their original plan from the old streaming service. So they'll still get that. But this seems like this is kind of trending. Jonathan and I were talking a little bit about this before we went live. This is starting to trend more with other MLB teams as they get ready for the potential new TV deal coming in once the CBA gets talked about, which, of course, we kind of broke that down last week. But once the new TV deals start coming in, this is teams basically getting prepared for that.
So it's also preparing how the revenue stream is going to be affected. Ways one to be able to get more of their fans involved. But can you all hear me?
Yeah. Yep.
Can you all hear me? Okay. I drove through a dead spot. I wanted to make sure. Getting their fans involved on the TV side, but as well as how do you help your revenue stream? Because again, we talked about it. The last week that revenue on the CBA talks is potentially a 50-50 split. How do you at least enhance your revenue incoming to at least account for what you're going to lose when the CBA, if the CBA gets ratified for a 50-50 split. So every one of these teams are going to try to find a way to maximize their TV deals, maximize the amount of revenue that they can come in, because they know there's going to be a cut of the revenue at some point if that's one of the give and take side of the CBA talks.
I would 1,000% agree. I think if you're going to lose some revenue, you need to make up some money someplace. And one of the only places that you can do it is through a TV contract. So I think clubs now they're going to look at their TV contract when the CBA comes close to being ratified, or they have not a formal agreement, but a preliminary agreement. I think teams are going to be looking how they make money, and the TV deal is the ideal way to make money right now. So I think the Rangers are smart to get ahead of it and do it. And I think now that the Rangers have done it, I think other teams will look at that deal and say, okay, let's go renegotiate, especially teams that are like not the Red Sox, not the Yankees. Those have teams that are owned, they own their own TV. Mr. First Down. They own their own TV networks. So teams are going to be looking to own their own TV network or get a great deal that will give them money into the organization. So kudos to the Rangers for getting ahead of it a little bit and doing it before we go into what could be the winter of no more
winter
baseball.
Winter of hell.
I didn't want to say winter of hell, but winter of hell. So.
Alrighty. So another big news that we heard today, one of the first big dominoes of the trade deadline here this year has fallen. Not really a big domino, but you get what I'm trying to make it. Do want to announce real quick, we will be doing a special post trade deadline special on August 3rd, which is a Monday. I know that's not our normal day, but we'll make exceptions for special occasions like this because it is the trade deadline. It is a big moment in baseball. And for some reason, it's on August 3rd and not July 31st like it usually is. But yeah, first big domino kind of fallen here is the Astros trade pitcher Lance McCullers Jr. to the Milwaukee Brewers, who add yet another arm to their rotation to go along with Peralta and Mizorowski there. What we think of this move, guys?
Don't we have? Isn't there some way somehow that McCullers pitches well in Milwaukee? I see it coming from a mile away. He hadn't had a great year, been around 500, but don't we think that the Brewers made this trade because they think McCullers is about ready to ascend up the slope, so to speak? I think that's why they did this, and I think you've seen it with Mizorowski. You've seen it with Quinn Priester last year. You've seen it with other guys. They go to Milwaukee, and all of a sudden, the light goes on, and they pitch really well. Kyle Harrison went to Milwaukee for a little bit, pitched pretty well. He got to deal with the Giants or whatever. So, to me, I think McCullers is about to go up that slope like many other pitchers who have gone to Milwaukee and gone up that slope. So, kudos to Milwaukee. They have a tendency to find the right guy at the right time to help them. So,
this screams low risk, high reward type of deal. Because you're not expecting Lance McCullers to be one of your top arms. You don't need him to be. If he's a solid number 3 or 4 for you, you just improved your depth. You know, so and I agree with you, Scott. This sounds like something of a fresh start for McCullers. You know, dealing with a lot of injuries this time in Houston. It didn't work out a lot of it has worked out, but at the same time, he's been struggling to just have a role with that club over the last couple of years. So you go to a club that is in a race that's in the top 3. They're leading the Central. They're on a chase for the number 1 seed in the NL. You go to a club that again you're not needing to be the number 1. You don't even need to be the number 2. And really, with how they've been pitching, Lance, you're just the number 4 for us. Yeah. And you can be the number 4, and if you show off that you can get yourself back to who you were, you're a number 3. And so I think that's it takes the pressure away from him that he has to just go and be the big fish for them. Instead of just go and be who you are, just go be a serviceable pitcher that we can get innings out of you, and we'll provide you run support, and we win ball games. So I think this is a great move for the Brewers. I think it's a little bit scary move that the Brewers made in regards to the NL because, again, it's a quality depth arm. Is it a needle mover? No, it's not a needle mover. But, again, for how well that Brewers team plays and how well they pitch, you don't need a needle mover. You need quality depth to go and just get you W's every time he steps on the mound as much as you can. So I think McCullers is a great option that they brought in. They made the move for. I haven't seen what they gave up to it, but I guarantee it's probably not a ton on the asking price for McCullers that you look at and say, yeah, I'll give this up and it's not a big deal, in regards to the prospects that you traded. So overall, this and Scott, you'll agree, this is a Milwaukee Brewers trade.
It is.
It just absolutely fits what they have done for the last few years, and they're going to if it pans out, they're going to thrive because of it.
This is a guy that's not making much that goes to Milwaukee, and all of a sudden, like Quinn Priester, wins 13 out of 15 starts. And everybody's like, why didn't we get McCullers? That's what it is.
So the whole deal is it is Lance McCullers, but they also get Colton Gordon, I believe is what I'm seeing. And then cash considerations, and they also traded away Jaden Fielder, who's Prince Fielder's son, to Houston. So that's the whole part of the trade. But yeah, Lance McCullers going to Milwaukee. Like you said, he's probably going to be the number 4 on that in that rotation, and he doesn't need to do much. Only 2-3 on the season, but he's been battling. I believe he's been battling injury early on because he's only pitched in 8 games so far in the early going. But 2-3, not a bad whip. 1.553. That's not bad. 43 strikeouts, and like you said, Scott, he's on the up. So Brewers are getting him while he's hot, getting ready to get hot. So that just makes the Brewers even more intriguing going into the second half of the season. Down the stretch.
Houston's one of the teams right now that is in a funny position. They're close enough to the wild card. They're close enough to the division. What are they going to do? Do they look at it realistically and say, you know what? We don't have a great team. We need to add pieces. Or do they just say, we don't have a great team. We don't think we're a serious playoff contender. So we're just going to start trading away pieces. The Astros are in a very funny position right now. More so
that's what they should do. You've ridden your window as open as long as you can. And we've talked about them for the last few years. Is this the year they're going to fall off? Is this the year they're going to fall off? And they prove this every year. They're going to hold on. Last year we saw that the window closed. And if you're not looking at it and saying that we added pieces that are going to get better, at some point you look at it and say, look, we need to close the window. We need to start over and find a way to get younger, get cheaper, because again, their contracts are a lot. There's a lot of contracts on those books in Houston, and you got to get cheaper in the process of getting younger to start over. Until you accept that, you're going to be in essentially a purgatory where you're at. Where like you said, Scott, you're close enough to a wild card, but you're also far away from the wild card as well. You're there, but you're not.
Yep.
And I don't think anybody looks at Houston saying that they're a talented team to make a run to secure a wild card spot. Right. And if you're not in that conversation talent wise, you need to start over. So, where do you go? Like, obviously, again, Altuve's not going to be one they're going to trade. Alvarez potentially, but I mean, do you want to? What the asking price for Yordan Alvarez is? Jeremy Pena, do you trade him? He's young. Do you want to make him be like the face of your franchise when you do your rebuild, or do you want to look at him and say, look, we know we have a young piece, team control, we can get a lot for him, we can make that trade for in there. There is questions on where you want to go in that regard of trades and how deep of the rebuild you want to get. But it starts with Alvarez. It can continue with Pena. You can look at some of again, they traded McCullers just now, so that how much more of the pitching staff do you have to trade? And then really start opening up your books where you can start spending some money over the next couple of years to where you can start turning around the rebuild that you have to do. But it needs to start now. It should have started last year. They didn't do the rebuild last year, and now you're stuck where you're at now. I don't think they're good enough to make the run. And if that's the case, they need to start. And I think this was the first domino. The McCullers deal was the first domino of them like saying, we're going to gauge the interest of everybody. We're going to gauge to see what the value is of our players. And if we find the right value, we're going to start buying into the selling of our club or of the players that we have that we can sell.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. And Scott, I know you're going to hate me for doing this, but I have to ask you the same question about the Red Sox, especially after the 9-game win streak going into the All-Star break. He's gone. He's gone. He's done.
They're going to go for it. They're going to be buyers. They're a young team. Young team that's worked their way back into the sitting here right now on July 15th at 8:35 p.m. Eastern time. I think they're going to be buyers. Now, they play the Rays this weekend. The rest of their monthly schedule is not tough after the Rays, and then they get the Dodgers at the end for a game or two before the month turns to August. I would think we're going to see in the next week, 10 days, if the Red Sox win 7 out of 10, I think they're going to be buyers. If they lose 7 out of 10, I think they'll be sellers. So I think they're another team, very funny position, 9 straight wins, back in the wild card race, virtually tied for the wild card, third wild card. Only half game out. they're in a funny position as well. They're in one of those teams, along with about 6 American League teams that are in
Rangers are in there as well. Rangers are in that same boat.
They're in this funny position where there's not going to be enough pieces to trade for. You better do it early, because if you don't, you're going to be left out. So the Red Sox need to have already determined what they are doing at the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. Now, if they go out and beat the Rays 2 out of 3 this weekend, they're going to try to get the best trade piece on the market. From the Cubs, from the Astros, from the Padres. They're going to do whatever they can to get a bat and an arm. Mason Miller is supposed to be in talks with the Yankees. The Yankees want him really bad. I would not be surprised if Mason Miller is sought after by the Red Sox too, after what this weekend brings. So be aware.
That's such a Yankee move. You trade for a big name. You trade for a big name player that doesn't fit the need of your team. He's a closer that you need starting pitching.
Right. And a catcher.
You need offensive help. Like where does, if you don't have a lead in the 9th inning, you don't use Mason Miller.
Nope. I agree. Listen, the Yankees are going to screw this up. Thank God Caminero didn't break his hand in the All-Star game, because if he broke his hand, I think the Yankees could catch the Rays. But if Caminero's okay and he plays Saturday at the earliest, I don't know how the Yankees catch the Rays here without Aaron Judge. I just don't see it.
No, because I see the Rays finding a way to buy a little bit more. They're going to be buyers.
Absolutely.
They're one of the best teams in the American League. You're going to find a way to be a buyer, and if they're going to add the right piece, which that front office knows what they're doing when they're adding players. Mm-hmm. You add the right piece. You're talking about a team that's going to run away in the American League.
I read an article today. They are going to be major buyers in this market. Does that mean Tarek Skubal is going to Tampa? I don't know. But if they ever got Skubal on that pitching staff, and Skubal is Skubal in the last 2 years, watch out. Watch out, American League, because now Tampa becomes the overwhelming favorite to make the World Series in the American League. If they're not already.
I don't see Skubal being the target. And there might be reports about it. That's not a race because that's I say that because that's not a Tampa Bay Rays move.
It is not.
Where they want a player. If they're going to trade, they're going to want somebody they have control of for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
You're the Rays that you know your prospects matter as far as the trade bargain of. You have no bargain. You have no leeway in a negotiation when you're trading for somebody that you know is going to be here for 2 more months. Like I don't see Skubal being the Rays option.
Here's a name that popped into my head, Jonathan. Fernando Tatis. What would it take to get him out of San Diego? Would it take a lot? Would it take medium trade value? What would it take to get Tatis out of San Diego?
It'll, despite the season he's had, it's still going to cost a lot. Here's the reason why. No matter what team is trading for Fernando Tatis Jr., your negotiation is, I don't want to take the full contract.
Right.
So the Padres are going to say, we'll take some of the contract, but we're going to need a lot of prospects back then. Mm-hmm. So if a team wants to take the full contract, then you can almost cut the value of prospects by a quarter at least.
Yes.
But again, no team. Every conversation a team's going to have with the Padres, they're going to say, "I don't want to take the full contract on. How much are you going to willing to take, and what will it take? What will it take prospect-wise for you to take that much of the contract, and we'll take the rest?" And which the Padres are going to. The Padres will turn around and go, "We need a haul to give up Fernando Tatis and still have to take on some of the contract off of the books."
If I'm the Red Sox, I'm doing everything I can to get him. What's it going to take? Team like the Red Sox, team like Cleveland, team like a team that's right there could be one player away from setting themselves up in the American League. If I'm an American League contender, I'm going after Tatis. I'm doing whatever I can.
That's a move if I'm the Yankees.
Exactly.
They're talking about the wrong Padre player. You need offense.
Yes.
Especially if Aaron Judge is out for the season, or if he's going to be out for the majority of the second half.
He's back second week in August, I think I read. He's supposedly supposed to be back.
Okay, I haven't read that report yet, but again, how healthy is he going to be even when he gets back, though? How much longer? He needs help. He needs help offensively out there. So, and then again, are you going to DH him a little bit more than play in the field at least for the first few weeks of him being back? You're going to DH him.
Yeah.
So Tatis is an outfielder who's a good defensive outfielder. I'm not going to put him in the upper echelon defensively, but he's a good defensive outfielder.
Yeah.
We know his potential, what he shows offensively. That he's just been bad this year. I'd take the risk if I'm the Yankees and just say, you can't take the whole contract if you're the Yankees, but you can at least try to negotiate how much the Padres will take on, and then you give up the prospects because prospects don't mean anything to you anyway.
Nah,
so
you can refill it a couple of years.
Yeah, so that's who I would. If I'm the Yankees, I'm making that phone call for Tatis. But I don't think they will.
No, they like you said, they're going after the wrong position with the right team. Mason Miller. The Padres are the right team. You're just going after another arm in the bullpen. Why? What is it going to get you? 2 more wins than what you thought you were going to have? That's not enough.
Maybe.
Not enough. You need a bat to stick in the middle of that lineup or top of the lineup to say, okay, Fernando, you set the pace. Or Manny Machado, hit us some home runs, drive us in some runs, do something. Something like that. I think the Padres are done with Machado. I would not be surprised if Machado's on the move at this trade deadline. That's a guy that I think is earmarked out of San Diego. Is Manny Machado. Just signed.
Who needs the third baseman?
I would say we don't.
You think the Yankees would take him?
Yankees do need third base. They need third base, catcher, and outfield.
I mean, they made the trade for McMahon not that long ago. Right? Was that last year or the year before they traded for McMahon?
Last year. No, was it last year? No, it could have been the year before.
I think it was the year before.
Year before. Yeah, year before.
So you have Ryan McMahon, who, yes, he's underperformed, but you made that move. What do you do? What do you do with McMahon then? Do you DFA him? And then, but if you're best thing to do though, and I know Cashman has basically job security for life there, but like you admitted that you just made the wrong. That if you DFA or if you do anything to McMahon after trading for Machado, you just admitted you made a mistake.
Yeah,
you admitted you screwed up, and no matter how much job security you have, that's not a good look. So I can't see the Yankees being the one to go get Machado.
Would Machado entertain a move back to shortstop again?
I don't think at this stage of his career he's not a shortstop.
No, I agree. I agree with that. I think if the Yankees take Machado, they're stuck. They have to DFA McMahon. They have no choice. They have to say see you later to McMahon. Because once Judge comes back, like you just said, he's a DH. He might be DH for the rest of the year. They might not put him in the outfield again. They might say, Aaron, you're the DH for us the rest of the year. That's what you're doing. So Machado's either third or stuck or nowhere.
I'm trying to think other teams like.
There's not really big names out there this year. I've read as many rumors as I can. I haven't seen a big name on the block, huge name on the block.
I don't think it'll happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if Texas tried to trade Corey Seager.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Pitching-wise, I haven't seen anybody's name come up except Skubal in terms of a trade.
Sonny Gray's name keeps on coming up. As you said, it depends on what happens to the Red Sox. Gray's name's been coming up a lot. Miami came out and said that they're not trading on Castro unless they get blown away by an offer.
Yep.
I think the Mariners. I think we have to watch the Mariners. I could definitely see them. I know they're right there still with the Rangers in the West, but it's not. You're not capitalizing on the success you had last year. I could see them looking at it and saying, okay, we need to blow this up. And they're going to make a reactionary decision to blow it up and trade off guys like Luis Castillo. That'd be a name I'd be watching, that's out there. I'm trying to think just to make sure.
I think Seattle and San Diego, Jonathan, are the two teams you need to watch. Because I could see both of them saying, "We're done. We're just going to blow this up."
Kansas City's gonna move either Michael Walker or Seth Lugo. That's one that's probably gonna happen. What do the Twins do with Joe Ryan? That's another one you're gonna keep an eye on.
The Phillies were sellers about 8 weeks ago. Now they're gonna be buyers. That's another buyer team.
They'll be buyers.
The Marlins might buy minor pieces, but they're not going to buy a lot. I don't think so.
No.
So I don't know if we're going to watch it.
Braves are going to be buyers.
Yeah.
Braves,
even the Raiders,
I was going to say if he had not wanted to go to Atlanta, I would. If I'm Chris Young, I would have called Atlanta to see what they would have said.
No, we're good. Thanks. We would have this past year, but after the bad mouthing, nope, we're good. Thanks, but no thanks.
That's what I was saying. It's probably not going to happen now.
No, starting pitching has to be and they've already those talks that the Braves and Anthopoulos is going to look for 2 starting pitchers to trade for. Sonny Gray being one of them. I know Skubal continues to be. I'm not in on Skubal being a Brave. I just something doesn't sit right with me about it. And it depends on what the Tigers are going to want. If the Tigers are going to want Didier Fuentes, Cam Caminiti to frontline the deal, I'm out. I'm absolutely out. I'm not trading Didier Fuentes. I'm not trading Cam Caminiti. I'm not trading J.R. Ritchie. Those are my 3 top arms that are prospects. Like Owen Murphy, maybe. If we're talking about my number 4 prospect pitcher, I would make Murphy as my headliner of the deal, and then let's package it up from there. Maybe J.R. Ritchie. I would probably maybe include J.R. Ritchie, but Didier Fuentes is not going to be traded. Hurston Waldrop's not going to get traded, I don't believe. Smith-Schaumburg's coming back here soon. He won't be traded. Cam Caminiti is the future left-handed star for the Braves on the farm. I don't think he gets traded. So Owen Murphy and J.R. Ritchie, the headline for Skubal, okay, I would maybe, and I'll throw in one more prospect and say let's make a deal. But if anything more than that, I'm out on Skubal. I'm absolutely out.
Yeah, I wouldn't throw too much on there for that. It's going to be interesting to see how this all breaks down once we get closer and closer to the trade deadline. We're about halfway there too. Being already the 15th of July, we got, 16, 17, 18, 19.
We're
basically 2.5 weeks away from the trade deadline. So we're going to start hearing more and more things happen as the days go by, which is going to be interesting, especially with how seeing how it'll shape up Major League Baseball as a whole, especially in the American League. So, alrighty then. Well, we weren't able to do it the last couple of weeks. Obviously, last week we talked a lot about the CBA, and we needed to talk about that, especially with all the news coming out with that. But we're gonna do our top 10 for not necessarily the month of June, but for the All-Star break. So, gentlemen, as we get started here, who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I always go first. I'm going to sound like a homer. The Red Sox are number 10 for me. They worked their way back into the again, this is how weak baseball is. This back end of the top 10 is just terrible. They worked their way back into the playoff wild card race. 9-game winning streak. They've done this without Roman Anthony and Marcelo Maya. And for all the talk that's been going on with those guys, why is Roman Anthony down in Florida? Why is this? Why is that? Why is my, stuff like that? They've done it on their pitching. Their pitching's been great. And if they want to trade Sonny Gray, I would suggest that Breslow looks at it and says, no, we're not trading him. We're not trading any pitches. We're gonna add to our offense. Offense has been great. Wilson Contreras has been phenomenal the last 2 months. And they've gotten up and down the lineup, they've gotten contributions. So Red Sox number 10 for me simply because of the last 3 weeks that they've done work. So all on the road, I might add, because their home record is god awful. God awful. They can't play at home. Whatever. So number 10 is the Red Sox.
I'm trying to do the best I can to try to be to do it on the fluid here, but so if my top 10's a little bit off, I apologize as I'm literally driving right now. But I'll say this: I got the Cardinals. I have the Cardinals at number 10, 50 and 45. I know they had a little bit of a slide down here on the last 10. They did win the series against my Braves right before the All-Star break. They are 8.5 back of the Brewers in the Central, but they've been playing good ball. They have. I think again, it's a matter of we talking about the trade deadline stuff. You know, what direction that this team wants to go in. I think they've played better than what has been expected of this team, and I think that should be if you're a Cardinals fan, if you're part of the franchise, you're encouraged because it's been a long, hard road. Over these last few years, if you're a fan.
Did he just get quiet, Alan?
Yeah, his audio went out.
Yeah. Your audio is gone. I'll put it in
he
the
had
chat.
He had the Cardinals at 10.
Oh, wait, there he is.
There he is. There you go.
There you go. Got me now. Okay, life on the road, though. Like I said, I think that the fact that they're showing life is something that they haven't done in many years. I think you've got to be encouraged, especially at this point of the season. So, will they keep it up? I don't know. But at the moment right now, for what they've done and how they've been able to play, at least looking somewhat decent and playing good ball here and there, I have the Cardinals at number 10.
Well, if Scott's going to be a homer, I'm going to be a homer too. I got the Rangers at number 10. Best record in the American League in the month of June. They've been playing well the last few weeks. They're getting healthier and healthier, which is great. I know Corey Seager's still out, and that's been Texas's big question mark heading into the trade deadline. But you're also about to get Jordan Montgomery back, which helps your pitching staff, which of all these starting to come around, Jacob deGrom has been pitching very well. If Kumar Rocker can continue to improve his game a little bit, I think that'll definitely help the Rangers rotation a lot. I think Texas, depending on what they do, depending on how the trade deadline falls, I think they can be the team in the American League West to finally break away and win this division. It doesn't seem like any team wants to win this division, but if everything goes right, I think Texas can finally be the team to break away and win the West. So I got Texas at 10.
Ellen, how dare you be a homer? It's really bad of you. I got Texas at 9, by the way. I think they're the best team in the West. They're 2 games up in the loss column right now. Seattle can't hit the ball. They're pitching okay. They have trouble hitting the ball. Julio Rodriguez, again, might be having an underlying good year, but he's an enigma for me. I don't know why he struggles like he does. I think Texas is going to win that division. I think they're in prime position. They're a couple games up to win that division, and I think with the right trade or two, I think they can put themselves in a great position to win it. Because Houston, too inconsistent for me. Seattle, too inconsistent for me. The most consistent team in the AL West right now is the Texas Rangers. So they're my number 9.
Just because they are in first place, as I'm looking over everything right now, I will agree. The Texas Rangers are the ninth team in the rankings. This is just how bad the American League is, and it's why it pisses me off that we can't freaking win in the damn All-Star game. It's because you have 5 teams. 5 teams in the American League that are above 500. 10 teams have a losing record in the American League. 5 have a winning record. And we can't beat you son of a guns in the damn All-Star game.
We only have one All-Star.
Shut up.
on ESPN Radio 690 tomorrow in Jacksonville when Alan comes on about 5 o'clock Eastern and
Oh,
talk
Lord.
about
God.
John, I agree 100% with you. When you're starting Dylan Cease in an All-Star game and you can't beat that guy and you strike out 3 times against him, come on, there's really something wrong.
I'm picking a team that to be the number 9 team that has the analytics say they're supposed to be 46 and 50. I'm picking to be that's how bad this American League is. So I'm not even going to. I'm not any American League team I pick other than the Tampa Bay Rays. I'm not giving you any information as to why they're just there. Texas Rangers go number 9.
Yeah, they're just there. I agree with you.
Well, I'm about to ruffle a lot of feathers to people watching this, but my number 9 is the Yankees.
Ooh.
I'm not sold. I'm not sold. Their defense is atrocious. The only team that's worse defensively than the Yankees are the Mets, and the Mets are laughable on defense right now. It's just hilarious. We talked about it earlier. They need somebody to help fill in for Aaron Judge, because as long as Aaron Judge is not in that lineup, their offense is stale. It's a stale offense, especially when you're playing teams like a Tampa Bay that can beat you mentally and by just playing small ball. Teams like that can beat this Yankee team, and it's kind of this. If the Yankees should be thanking God for Cam Schlittler right now. Yankees should be thanking their lucky stars for him, because he is the only person keeping that team afloat right now, especially on defense. So it's terrible. It's terrible defensively for the Yankees. I don't see them beating any of these National League teams that are higher than them. I have higher than them. So I got them at 9.
My number 8 team is the Marlins. I think they're doing Marlin things. They're scrapping their way to wins. They're playing really well. They don't blow teams out. They do the little things. They're always there around the All-Star break. Now the question is, do they add a minor piece to the bullpen? Do they add a minor piece to their offense to help them get over the hump? But I think the Marlins could sneak into that third wild card. It would not surprise me at all. So the Marlins are my number 8, and not trading Alcantara is the best thing they could do, because he's a really good pitcher. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball. So Marlins are number 8 for me.
Number 8, the Chicago White Sox.
Okay, go ahead, Alan. That's it.
I mean, this is so bad. This is so bad of the American League. Again, I got to pick a Chicago White Sox team that is in first place by percentage points over the Cleveland Guardians. And the only reason why I have them over the Guardians because the analytics say that they're supposed to be 51 and 44. The Guardians are supposed to be 48 and 49. Like this is just laughable in the American League. But again, is the White Sox a good ball club? Yes, they are. Are they playing better than what we expected? Yes, they are. But again, this is just where we're at with the American League. So, Chicago White Sox, number 8.
In kind of similar fashion to the Yankees, I got the Cubs at 8 because I'm not sold on them either. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of what the Cubs are doing. I know it just seems like they get lucky. It seems like they get lucky a lot of the times. I don't like them ahead of the Brewers because I think the Brewers are going to be fine in that NL Central. I don't know. The Cubs are just an anomaly to me. Their pitching has been okay. The hitting's been okay. PCA has been phenomenal for them so far this year. He's going to be in the MVP running. They have to do something to wow me, though, because I don't know. I'm not sold on the Cubs right now, so I got them at number 8.
I'm going on the Jonathan philosophy. The Yankees are number 7. That's it for me.
I mean, what more do we need to say?
One thing I'll say, the Yankees better thank their lucky stars not only with Schlittler, Ben Rice.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm gonna say about the Yankees. I don't buy into them at all. So.
Yeah, I got Yankees at 7 as well.
Yeah. Go ahead, Alan.
I got the White Sox. I got the White Sox at 7, only because I'm more of a believer than most people. So I like what they're doing. And now you just got Murakami back, so that's going to add more power to your lineup. I can't wait to see what this White Sox team does. I think they're going to end up winning the Central because I don't have the Guardians in my top 10. I'm not sold on them, especially if Tanner Bybee stays on that roster.
I have the Cubs at 6, and the only thing I'm going to say about the Cubs, the Alex Bregman curse lives on. Whatever team Alex Bregman goes to, they make the playoffs. Alex Bregman's on the Cubs; they're in a position to make the playoffs. I mean, Pete Crow Armstrong's been Pete Crow Armstrong. Pitching that has not been great. I don't even know if it's been good. And they're in a position to get a wild card in the NL. So, my number 6 is the Cubs.
I'm going to throw you all a curveball here. My number 16 is the Philadelphia Phillies. And they have taken advantage of a very weak part of their schedule, and they got themselves back in the race. Now, they can make a move at the deadline. We all expect they're going to make a move at the deadline to get stronger. But something about this Phillies team still does not sit that I think they're the best team to challenge the Braves. I think there's another team in the NL East that is going to make that move, and I'm going to have them higher up. But something again, I don't know. They got hot. The Phillies got hot. But here's what this is where I'm going to go with it here. The record is 54-43, 2 games back by the Braves. The analytics, based off of their run differential, says their record is supposed to be 47-50.
Yeah.
They're 10 under a run differential. They've just taken advantage of a weak schedule to win games. And they had 3 straight walk-offs at one point. Mm-hmm. They had to walk off 3 straight times to at least to keep themselves at pace. And the Braves getting being hurt. I'm not excused. They're playing bad baseball as well, and that's where they kind of made their ground up on a tough part of their schedule. Something tells me this Phillies team is going to come back down to earth here very soon, and they're not going to be able to keep this up. Especially then if the Braves do make their moves that they're going to make at the deadline. This is going to be a little bit tough for the Phillies to catch the Braves. And it's going to be tough for you look at it as far as how the Braves just trying to hold off this. I think this Phillies team is going to come back. I'm not buying in to what this Phillies team has done over the last month and a half to close the gap again. I think that they're going to come back down to earth, and they're going to struggle for a period of time, and that's when the Braves do kind of make up the ground. But plus, I think it's another team that is a little better right now that I'm going to have them up ahead here very soon. But the Philadelphia Phillies are my number 16.
I have the Phillies at 6-2 for all the reasons you said, Jonathan. They've taken advantage of a pretty soft part of their schedule. They've they've won series, and also to the point of Philly fans just don't deserve anything good anymore, so they need to fall off a little bit. So, I got them at 6-2. So
you could slide past me because the Phillies are 5 for me. So everything you guys said, 100% agree with. So Phillies are 5 for me.
I have the Miami Marlins at 5. This team, and Scott, you said very the right word, the scrappy. It's a very Marlin. We talk about how the Rays have their system in place for what they've been known for many years. When the Marlins are good, they're scrappy. Mm-hmm. When the Marlins are bad. But when they are a good team, they're top. There's just something about they have that persona that is just they'll just go out and play. They don't care what happens. They're just gonna go battle and play and see what happens from there. And that's what the MO of this team is. And look at the analytics on it. Their run differential. The analytics said they're supposed to be 51-46. They're 52-45. They're on par with what the analytics say with them. I think that speaks more volumes for them than the Philadelphia Phillies being ahead of them 2 games up. The Marlins have been one of the hottest teams in baseball in the month of June too. They had the best. The Marlins had the best record in the month of June. Mm-hmm. So I think they're pretty scary. They're a scary club, and I think if they make, as kind of what Scott said, if they make a move here and there, I think you have to watch out for what they're going to be like. I have the Marlins in the top 5 at number 5.
I also have Miami at number 5, and I'll add on to this. I will just say, don't be surprised if they do eclipse Atlanta to win the NL East, because I think there's a possibility that could happen. I'm not saying it will, But like you said, Jonathan, I would be more afraid of Miami than I would be of Philly because Miami's just playing better baseball right now. So I've got Miami at 5 as well.
Easy with that Marlins over the Braves for the NL East. Come on. Easy. Right now, easy. Number 4 for me is the Rays. And again, they do what the Rays do. Low payroll, and they just play and they win. And they pitch you to death. And they fundamental you to death. Kevin Cash, for my money, is a top 3 manager in baseball and does not get the notoriety or the credit he deserves. He deserves a lion's share of the credit this year. He has gotten the Rays to a really good point, and he's got this guy in the middle of the lineup named Junior Caminero that just is phenomenal. It could be a top 5 player in majors this year and going forward. So my number 4 is the Rays, and that shows you where the American League is because my top 3 are National League teams. So
I have the Atlanta Braves at number 4. And I'm very concerned about the month of June that we had. And right now we're 500 in the month of July. We're 3-3 so far in the month of July. I know reinforcements are coming. Acuna is on his rehab assignment. He'll be back. He'll be back next week, more likely. You have AJ Smith-Shawver coming back. He's in his rehab. He's got at least 2 more rehab starts. Strider's got a ways to go. Schwellenbach's got a ways to go still. Anthopoulos has money to earn as a GM to do what he has shown he can do. What concerns me is the inconsistency of this offense that was really good beginning of the year, but even more, what I said was the number 1 fear that I have, at least with the rotation right now. You've only have one pitcher go more than 7 innings. That was Chris Sale one time in the last 2 months. And even in his last handful of starts, he has only gone to the 5th and 6th inning. He has yet to go 7. Your bullpen is absolutely exhausted. Now, Roberto Suarez will come back. He'll be back here very soon by the second half as well after the All-Star break, which that will help the bullpen. But your starting pitching has got to get better. They have to eat innings. You need starting pitchers to minimally go 6 and get you through the 7th to make sure that you're giving your bullpen rest. They have not done that in months. Until you figure that part out, your bullpen's your bullpen has the ability to be the best bullpen in baseball. They've shown it when they get the opportunity to be it. They haven't been able to get the opportunity to be that right now. So I'm very concerned. I think this team is still going to win the division in the NL East because I know Anthopoulos is going to make moves that's going to help this team. You've got to get production from Austin Riley, though. He has got to figure it out. I have no idea what has happened to Austin Riley right now. He's got to get better. The fortunate side is Matt Olson, Drake Baldwin, and Michael Harris have all played phenomenal this season. Yep. And you're starting to get a little bit more production from shortstop with Jim Jarvis taking over there. Your Ozzy Albies has had a renaissance season, coming back and being an all-star. But Austin Riley's got to get it figured out. And when you have Ronald Acuna back, that's going to be. We know the electricity he brings. So there is some ability of being optimistic, but you got to get better production. And then Anthopoulos has got to make the right moves again to assure that Braves win the division this year.
Mm-hmm. And in case anybody's wondering, the Braves are opening it up against Texas starting on Friday. So Texas has not announced who their pitcher is going to be. Looking at who they've had their last series, it's either going to be Eovaldi or DeGrom against Chris Sale on Friday, which will be an awesome pitching matchup.
That'll be good. Then you get the 2 youngsters for the Braves. You get J.R. Ritchie and Owen Murphy on Saturday and Sunday.
So yeah, you're likely getting our top 3. Well, no, because Gore pitched Sunday, so it's probably going to be Eovaldi, DeGrom, and either Cantrell or maybe Jordan Montgomery if he gets called up on Sunday. Depends on what happens with that. So It might be Kumar though. It might be Kumar. It might be Cantrell. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But I also got Atlanta at 4, by the way, and it's kind of for the same similar reasons that you said, Jonathan. Is like that was a concerning month of June from them, and then like you said, they're 500 to start the month of July, which is why I also kind of said I would not be surprised if Miami does pass them. But if they get the production and they make the right trades, Atlanta's probably still going to win the NL East by default. But this is too good of a team not to keep them up here, not to keep the production going. And like you said, once Ronald comes back, it should definitely go up for sure. Once he gets back in the lineup. So right now, I would have them at number 4.
Braves are 3 for me, and the one thing I'll say about the Braves, of all the teams in Major League Baseball that needed the All-Star break, the Braves are the team that needed the All-Star break probably the most. Mm-hmm. So, again, Acuna, I'm assuming, may miss the Rangers series. He may be back on the back half of it. If he comes back, that'll be a shot in the arm. That might be the best trade that any team could make down the stretch here, is Acuna just coming back for the Braves. So Acuna's Braves are my number 3.
My number 3 team is the Tampa Bay Rays. They're the best team in the American League. It's just I love watching what they do. I love watching how they are. I love watching their system that they've built. It's a well-oiled machine. We continue to say the same thing every month about this team, and all they do is win. I agree with you, Scott. Kevin Cash is a top 3 manager, and I'm hard pressed to say he should be top 2.
Yeah,
obviously Dave Roberts has to be number 1 because of what he's done in LA, at least right now. There's not I can't name another manager that you would put ahead of him, ahead of Kevin Cash.
Would you go Kevin Cash 2, Pat Murphy 3 of the Brewers? Would that be where you're going? I would.
Based on what he's done with Milwaukee the last 2 years, absolutely.
Yep, that's where I would go.
Because with Alex Cora not managing right now, so you can't really include him.
Nope.
I'm trying to go down the list real quick of all the teams. Council, no. I mean, he's done a good job, but he's not had the same success in Chicago that he did have in Milwaukee. And with Murphy basically just continuing the success, you got to credit Matt Murphy for what he's done. Schumacher, no, in Texas.
Cash is number 2. Cash is number 2 for
Cash
me.
Cash is number 2. And honestly, for me, the gap is not as wide as many people probably would.
It's not.
I don't think Dave Roberts. I don't think if you put Dave Roberts in Tampa, he has the success that Kevin Cash has. No, I don't think so. But if you put Cash in LA with the Dodgers, they're winning every year still.
Yeah, they'd be number 1 with a bullet every year, as long as Kevin Cash was there. If that's the case, so he's in the dead zone again. By the way.
Yep. I have the Rays at number 3 as well for basically everything Jonathan said. This is a fun team to watch. This is one of the funnest teams to watch in Major League Baseball. They are the best team in the American League for a reason, and I think they'll continue to be the best team in the American League, especially if the Yankees don't figure something out. I think you could see Tampa Bay wind up running away with the AL East when it's all said and done. So I've got Tampa at number 3.
I'll give my top 2 because I got to hop off. I got to, as I told Alan, I got to ring the bell day early tomorrow morning. So Brewers 2, Dodgers 1. They're the 2 best teams in baseball right now. I don't think there's any argument. Well, 2 of the 3. The Rays are in there too. But the Brewers, for me, watch this Mizorowski injury, though. Watch this arm fatigue stuff. It worries me a little bit that this guy who throws 104 miles per hour has got arm fatigue in the middle of the season. So just watch it. If Mizorowski is down for any length of time, that could spell trouble for the Brewers. That really could. And the Dodgers are the Dodgers. I mean, I think until they get dethroned, I think you got to have them at number one. They look like the team that's going to win back to back World Series titles right now. Right now, they're the best team in baseball, and I don't know how close it is, to be honest with you. The Brewers can't hit in the postseason, so the Dodgers, and Robleski gives the Dodgers rotation length. Yamamoto, Robleski. If Blake Snell ever could figure it out here and get back from injuries or whatever, I think the Dodgers be dangerous in the playoffs. So those are my top three, my top two rather.
Yeah.
So.
I actually got it flipped. I have the Dodgers 2, Brewers 1.
Yeah, you could go that way too.
Which I think the Lance McCullers trade kind of warrants that ranking too. Is that I got the Dodgers at 2. Again, they are what they are. They're the best team in the National League record wise. Kind of worrisome that they just got swept by Arizona to head into the All-Star break because, like you said, Scott, they got to get healthy at the right time, which we kind of expect that they will.
Yep.
But this McCullers trade, I originally had the Brewers at 1. I think the McCullers trade kind of justifies it for me personally, putting them at number 1 because I think that just adds more to their strength to their rotation. And what are the weakness of these good hitting teams that we've said for the last couple of years is good pitching.
Yes.
If the Brewers can find their good pitching and just get a decent amount of hits, they could wind up taking the National League.
Yeah.
So right now I would have Dodgers 2, Brewers 1, but that's just me. Jonathan, how do you feel with the last 2?
All right, I gotta hop off. I'll see you later.
Yep. See you, Scott.
See you, Scott.
I have Brewers at 2, Dodgers at 1, and yes, I agree. The McCullers trade on paper is good, but again, we got to make sure we see what McCullers can do in Milwaukee. Do we think he'll do well? Sure, but he's got to stay healthy. As I said, it's a low-risk, high-reward type of trade, but I think we need to hold off on saying that he's a difference maker for them because that's not what he's being brought in to do. He's not a needle mover. He's a depth piece. So he's going to provide quality depth. But until we see what he does in Milwaukee, I think we can't amplify the hype that he's coming into Milwaukee with and saying that that's now the best team in the National League. I think they're good. They're going to play. They're going to be really good. They're going to pitch really well still. They have truly taken over the number 2 spot in the National League with the Braves falling off like they have so far. And they're pushing the Dodgers as well. I agree with you on that. But the Dodgers are still the Dodgers. They winning games. Yes, they had the hiccup against Arizona. But as they get healthy, they're going to get healthy. Ohtani's getting it. He's coming back and getting healthy again. After the leg issue he had towards the back end of before the All-Star break, they're still dangerous. They're still a team that you have to fear. This is not an Astros thing where how long do we think this team can last? They're still the best team, and it's everybody. It's the Dodgers versus everybody right now. So Brewers have closed the gap, but there's still a gap, and I think you have to look at it in that way to say that the Brewers are the number 2 team in all of baseball. The Dodgers are still number 1.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out once we get into August here in a few weeks. Will probably be a delayed top 10 again since the 3rd is going to be the trade deadline special, which here in the next couple weeks we'll start breaking the trade deadline down a little more. Next week we'll do American League for what it's worth because it's god awful right now. And then the week beforehand, we'll do the National League, talk about some trade deadline moves that we could see potentially happening with both sides here in the next couple weeks.
We also had, Alan, the Major League Baseball draft finish up over the weekend, too.
Absolutely.
And there's some things that took place that I kind of expected, and there's some things that I think we're going to start kind of seeing a ripple effect, especially as the CBA does plan changes for the draft. But it was a very and I will say this, as much as we praise the All-Star game as the best All-Star game in all of North American sports, Major League Baseball does the draft very, very wrong. It is absolutely atrocious on how they have conducted and tried to put out there. You talk to me about that the NHL does their draft better than Major League Baseball. The NHL, which is the fourth best, and I know who you talk to, I understand before I offend so many people, but it is the fourth popular sport in North America. But they do their draft better than Major League Baseball. They need to do something to at least promote it better. They need to broadcast it better. They need to produce it better. They need to do everything with their draft better. How they just conducted the drafts was atrocious. And I think you need to find a way to get it better, get it right, do it right, and promote. Major League Baseball is the worst promotion-based sports league. We've said this for 30-plus years. They don't know how to promote their players. They don't know how to promote the future. They don't know how to promote anything. The NFL does it beautifully. The NBA does it right. And I think the NHL is also right there as well. Major League Baseball has got to figure out how to get their draft better, how to do their draft better. Rob Manfred freaking goes to the number one pick and pronounces the name wrong. Your number one overall pick. And you cannot say his last name. You cannot say Cholowski. You cannot say his last name. That's embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. And some reason somebody has not sat down with Manfred and the owners and everybody else to say, why is our draft this bad? They got to do better. They need to do better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jonathan, where can the people find you at? And I know you're headed on the road once again, but where can people find you at and what you got going on?
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people seeing me on the road right now on the highway. So if you're driving down the highway going towards Houston, you might be able to spot me in my car going right now. And I'm going to Houston right now, staying the night in Houston, and I'll be driving to College Station area. And I'll be in College Station in Franklin, Bryan, College Station area for the next 4 days. Recruiting out there as well. But you can check us out on Twitter or X, whatever one you want to call it. I still call it Twitter, at Grishman27. You can also see a lot of the stuff that we do at Coastal Bend, at Coastal Bend 2 on Twitter, on Instagram as well. JGrish27 on my Instagram for me, and see a lot of things. I've been on a little bit of a recruiting heater right now. I've gotten a big-time bat commit on Monday, and I got a big-time pitcher that throws 93-95 with movement on a two-seamer 93-95 with good movement that committed yesterday. So loading us up right now, getting ready. I'm excited for. I keep telling you guys, telling y'all, I'm excited for August. I'm ready to go to work. I'm ready to go to work with this team. We are loaded. We are ready to go, and I'm just so eager and excited to see this team compete on the ball field. But the summer actually feels pretty long. I don't know why. It feels like it's been a long, long summer. And me going all over the place every weekend doesn't help because whatnot. But I got this weekend. I'll be in College Station. I'll be back in Houston next weekend, and I'll be back in College Station again in 2 weeks after that. So my summer of travels is almost over, but man, it feels like it's forever. It's been going on forever, though.
And the Jays just keep dragging and dragging. Gotta love it.
I'll say this: my bat that I got. Think about this, Alan. My bat that committed on Monday. He's 6'4", 205, 210-pound shortstop.
Dang. Oh boy, that's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, and he can hit. He's got pop in that bat. So get him in my weight program. Get him on the field with us. So we're gonna have some fun in the Bend this year.
Oh boy. For me, you can find me at aparalysis30. Don't forget tomorrow. We got the Rec Room Sports Radio Show on ESPN 690 Jacksonville. That'll be at 4 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. Eastern. I do believe we'll be talking baseball in the second hour of the show, so definitely check that out. Saturday is Lock It In. Last week we started our college football talks. We did all SEC. Last Saturday, this week we'll be doing the Mountain West and Pac-12, the newly restructured Mountain West and Pac-12. We talk about those two conferences. And then here towards the end of the month, we'll actually be starting some fantasy football stuff for the NFL. So can't wait to start that up. Football season is about to kick in high gear. And yeah, it's going to be fun. I can't wait for it. I'm already ready. I've already been warned a lot by people that I work with since I moved to Norman that football season is going to suck when driving in. So, yeah, I've already been warned multiple times about that. So it's going to be great.
Yeah, you have fun with that.
Especially in Norman. Our first game is a Friday night too, by the way, which is phenomenal. And I know why they did it. They did that on purpose too. They moved it back to Friday because it's a home game on a Friday night, and then they have to travel to Ann Arbor the week after. So they're trying to get them an extra day of rest before the Michigan game the following week.
Y'all shouldn't have any issues with Michigan.
I don't think we should. I don't think we should either.
Michigan's gonna have a terrible season this year.
I think so too. I'm not sold on Michigan at all. All right. Anything else, Jonathan, before we end off today?
All good from here, man.
All righty, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next Wednesday, same time. Until then, love y'all. Stay safe. Bye, Spotify.
Bye, Spotify.